Well, look at this thing, a little purple nurple, right? It's a Chevrolet HHR. I think it's a 2005, 2006 model. These came with an Ecotec 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. Crazy looking tires on that. Look at that thing. It's got a couple little items on here we need to inspect. I imagine this is a high mileage vehicle due to its age. I mean, it's a 20-year-old truck. Look at that. That's incredible, 20 years already. But yeah, 20-year-old truck. They had a transmission put in it about 3 years ago. The vehicle had been sitting for a couple years prior to that. I mean, that's early COVID times. Yeah, they were all sitting during that moment that we were in our house. It's got a check engine light that's turned on, and they say that it's like shaky when you come up to a stop, so there's some vibrations or something going on. They want me to check the motor mounts, and they've got some concerns about the torque converter and the transmission that they put in it. What was that mileage we got on here? Let's take a look. Starting the engine. Okay, we do have a check engine light. We have a door ajar. So it says shaky, it stops. I mean, we're stopped and it's not that shaky. Let's put it in gear and see what it does real quick. Like, put it in drive. Yeah, we're shaky, a little vibrating. I don't know if you can see the steering wheel, but it's buzzing away right here. That definitely feels like a collapsed motor mount of some sort. Let's put it in reverse, see if it's still there. It's actually a little worse in reverse. Let's give it some throttle. Smooths out, yep. I think we have bad motor mounts for sure. We'll check them. Okay, all's well. And the next thing they've got on the list here is the blinker does not turn off after turning left. So we're gonna simulate that. We're in neutral. We turn left. Okay, we're done turning left. We turn right. The blinker doesn't turn off. Okay, let's try the right side. We turn right. I heard it clicking. Turn left. It's clicking, but it's not turning off. Okay, so that's gonna be located inside of the steering column. The multi-function switch in there has a little tab on it, and as you go through your rotations on your way back, it's that little tab is supposed to get engaged by, I think, another tab on the column somewhere, and it turns the switch off. So we got probably just a broken switch. Actually, we do have a broken switch. Look, it's broken right here. That is the multi-function switch. That's what they call them, because they serve multiple functions. You've got turn signals, right? You've got headlights, right? You've got some high beams, right? What does forward do? Okay, so that's flash to pass. That's forward for full-time high beams, and it's not working. So we have flash to pass, but nothing else. All right, yeah, we totally have a broken multifunction switch right here. All right, you little Ecotec retro wagon. Yeah, these things were invented right around the same time that the PT Cruisers were. Uh-oh. Danger. The hood struts are blown out. Yeah, that right there, that's a hood strut. It's a gas-charged shock absorber. A gas spring, rather. It just holds the thing open. These ones no longer have gas in them. It is broken. No matter, I have a solution for the issue here. So all we gotta do, stick that right there, pull it up here, and now we have a prop rod. Good to go. Oh yeah, this thing 1000% thinks it's a PT Cruiser. You can tell because you got the triangle-shaped engine compartment with the plastic over top, and you can't really gain access to anything without taking the front clip off. Awesome. It's totally a PT Cruiser. Anyway, I'm looking at this engine. I see it shaking away right here. I'm thoroughly confident that we have an engine mount problem. And I can't even see that one. Yeah, it's so tight in here, you almost can't see. Let's lift this thing up and check it from the bottom. We're going to engage the shameless self-promotional green subscribe button here on my particular YouTube channel. It's a daily thing. I usually get to this part at about the very end, but I figured we'll hit it early on and see what happens. So if you have not done so already, consider subscribing to the channel so you can not miss out on future content such as this one. And that will end my moment of shameless self-promotion. All right, back up at the top. Let's bring this down on the locks for some lift safety. There we go. Locks are set, we're good to go. Let's take a look, what do we got? Transmission fluid. There's a leaker, output shaft seal, and CV axle right there. That's pretty self-evident. Oh, look at that. Haven't seen this in a long time. Check this out. Let me get you in there real deep like. Do you see the casting marks on the side of this engine block right here? See that? What's that look like to you? It looks like a styrofoam cooler. Do you know why those casting marks look like a styrofoam cooler? Because these engines were sand casted and they used styrofoam for the mold for the sand. So they made the styrofoam mold, filled it full of sand, hardened it with some glue or whatever they did, and then they used that sand to make the molding, or they broke away the styrofoam, and then that was the mold. And that's why the engine block has impressions where it looks like a styrofoam cooler, because they built these engines out of styrofoam. Crazy, huh? All right, so that motor mount looks okay, right? There's a transmission mount up there that we can't see. How about the torque mount back here? There she is. I kind of really can't see it. Going through the hole here. We still really can't see it. There it is. It's kind of orange looking, but I can't see from any of these angles that it's got an issue. We're gonna need to get a helpy helper to apply some torque to this engine. We need to torque it up. Second chance green subscribe button, there you go. Yeah, we need to torque it up under load and see if we can visualize some movement. So I'm gonna let this down and we're gonna go up front and fetch my darling wife unit Lauren, and she's gonna help us out today. HHR coming down. Mostly all the way down, that'll do it. So there's a safety protocol that is never taught by anybody but should be acknowledged. When you pick your car up off the ground with the lift, it needs to stay there. It never goes back on the ground all the way, because what can happen if you let the car down and then the lift arms disengage from the bottom of the car, meaning it's no longer touching it, the lift arms can actually move slightly or the car can move slightly. There's several reasons for that, but once we set it down, the car could either roll forward, roll back, and the lift arms may change their position ever so slightly, because right now it's under a load and there's compression forces in there, there's tension forces or tensile forces in there, and once we let it off the ground or on the ground again, those forces are relieved and things can then settle and move around. Well, what'll happen is if it moves around, you might come by and just hit your button again, because you know you set your rack arms correctly from the beginning, not realizing that they moved once you set the car on the ground, and then you hit the button, raise it back up, and you could be in a potentially unsafe situation. So once they're off the ground, you should always leave them off the ground until the very end. If you do set it all the way down and take pressure off the arms, you need to go back down below and visually look at your lift points to make sure it's all lined up properly. Fun safety tip of the day. Safety tip of the day. It's the Dave sighting of the day, and he's gone. Ms. Lauren?
Yes.
May I utilize your assistances on a professional level outside in the shop space area?
Okay.
I need you. Come with me, please. There we go. I was just blocking the thing over there. Okie doke. So what I would like you to do, we're gonna do a motor mount check.
Good.
You know about those?
No.
All right, so all you need to do is hop in the car, and you're kind of gonna drive it, but not really. I need you to put it in gear, foot on the brake, and then give me some throttle with your foot still on the brake.
Okay.
What I'm gonna do is watch this engine to see if it like lurches backwards or forwards. So you're gonna do that in drive, and then you're also gonna do it in reverse. And I'll tell you when to and when not to execute the activity.
Okay, got it.
Good deal? All right.
Look at that. I just noticed. Look at it's like burnt through.
Oh yeah, it is. Look at it. It's melting.
Yeah, that's crazy. I never seen
What? That one's doing it too, yeah.
Are those the right bulbs, or are those like too hot?
They're probably the wrong bulbs.
Oh,
I mean, they did melt. They melted out the amber in there.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Good job. I did not even notice such things. But truth be told, I do not notice cosmetic defects on cars.
Women do.
Well, it's not my department, it's not my field. I'm not the body shop and I'm not detail. So cosmetics on a vehicle to a technician's mind are non-existent. It's just not a thing. They don't exist. Anyway, foot on brake, left foot. You need 2 feet on this one. I know you're not supposed to drive with 2 feet. We need 2 feet. So left foot on the brake, clicker back into drive. Okay, let me have a little bit of throttle. Throttle it up. More brakes. There you go. Let it down. Let it down. Throttle it up. Let it down. Go reverse. Let it down. Go forward. Hang on. Can you be a little bit more aggressive on your throttle? Yeah. You don't have to slowly get into it. Just mash that brake pedal down and give me some gas. 3,000 RPM on the tack. Is there a tack? An engine speed? Yeah. So your 3 on there is kind of going to be your ceiling. So give me some throttle. Show me. There you go. Yeah, it won't do it anymore. So yeah, 2,000 is fine. Okay. Torque management shut this down. All right, give me throttle. Off, on, off, on, off, on. Go reverse. Yep. Off, on, off. Go forward. Off, on, off. All right, let her off. Whew, these motor mounts look pretty good to me. They look pretty good. I'm not saying that's not the cause of the vibration, but I don't know. They don't have a bunch of motion in them. I don't think that's really the problem. Alrighty, my dear, I'm all done with your services. Thank you for your efforts. Please leave it running, and you are free to go about your business as you see fit. Yipper. Okie dokes. So, I'm not thinking it's a motor mount issue, so why are we vibrating? I need to see if this thing's got a timing chain issue. And I also need to see if this engine has a balance shaft in it, because if we have a stretch timing chain or a stretch balancing shaft chain, then the balancing shaft will be out of sync with the crankshaft, and that will cause some vibrations. And it kind of does feel like that. But we're going to review some scan tool data to help maybe try to determine that. So we're pulling up an 06 HHR 2.4 liter 4-cylinder. Looking good here, everything checks out, VIN looked good. Let's go into our engine and see what this code says. Codes menu, I hope we don't have like a P700 transmission code. I'd hate to have to send these folks back to the transmission shop. P0442, Evap system small leak detected. History DTC, not passing power up, warning indicator requested. So we've got an Evap system. It's probably got a stuck vent valve out back. That's what always fails in these. So no transmission issues reporting to our control module. This is good. I'm going to code scan all modules now. Let this run through the whole list, and anything that has a stored DTC, it's going to let me know about it. Nothing in the transmission. That's good. Look at there. Rear wheel speed sensor circuit fault. History DTC, warning indicator requested. That's interesting. So if it's requesting a warning indicator, where's my warning indicator? Let me key this off real quick. Key it back on. ABS light does work. That's a little strange. Let's go into ABS real quick. Data display. Said right rear, didn't it? Sure. So we're going to go ABS. We're going to pull up the wheel speed measurements. Now watch this. Put this guy into drive. Let's make sure my wheels are off the ground. They are. We'll put it in drive. Let off the brake. Right? We should start to see We have no wheel speeds. What? That's weird. Oh, yeah, look. I had it in neutral. What a dummy. All right, let's try again. Back in drive. Maybe I should probably have checked my wheels. Yeah, there they go. They're turning. So there we go. That's what I need. We have front wheel speed. Okay. So we're gonna go around to the right rear. That's the one that had the code. We'll go to the right rear and spin it manually with the engine running and see if we get a wheel speed measurement out of it. I can see you. Maybe I'm not going fast enough. Full speed. Yeah! There we go. 8 miles per hour out of the left rear. So it has to be repeatable. Let's measure this again. A lot of walking around and stuff. You guys getting vertigo yet? My shoe fell off. Right rear seems to be working also. Okay. So they're both working. Don't know what that's about, but all right. What is this, dead end diagnostic day? This is my second car today that's got really weird symptoms that should be very obvious and they're not. It's frustrating. Okie doke, so I pulled up here in my all data, this HHR, and I pulled up timing chains, and I found that behind the primary timing chain system, there's a secondary chain system. We've got a chain guide right here that's supposed to represent our crankshaft right there. Did not mean to do that, but okay, more picture, that's better. And then right over there, that is a balance shaft that runs all the way the length of the engine block, and it rotates in sync with the crankshaft, and it's designed to balance out the imbalance of the rotating assembly for smoother operations. I'm beginning to suspect that this chain here has stretched slightly. We go ahead and scroll down some. We see another chain guide over here on this side. These guides might be broken as well. Looking down, there's another guide. A tensioner right there. So there's like a whole secondary timing system behind the primary timing system. That's awesome. Let's scroll down to the actual timing chain. Let's see what we can pull up here. Service and repair. Change sprockets, tensioners, all that stuff. Come on, computerizer. There we go. Okay. So here's our good look at the front of the engine. This is with the valve cover removed. Both camshafts. This is the cylinder head here. And then down here on our block side, behind the valve timing system, we have the balance shaft timing system. So using a process of elimination here, I'm suspecting that the imbalance and the vibrations in that engine are being caused by a stretched out chain. We've got some disassembly instructions, VVT phaser removal and installation instructions. There's a chain floating in the air right there with no sprockets behind it. Okay. Yeah, this is one complicated engine timing setup right here. That's very complicated. So back at the car, we take a look down in that hole, and there's like no space really in there to work on. That's a tight squeeze on the front of this engine. I wonder if we've got to pull the motor out to set up timing on it. Quite possible. We'll look up the labor guide next. Well, that's an ugly endeavor, I think. The labor for the timing chains, it looks like it can be done in the vehicle, okay? Now, there is no labor guide for the balance shaft chains. I looked in all that, and I looked in my tech metric, and neither one of them have a labor guide for balance shaft, but the instructions for balance shaft say remove engine. So apparently we can do the timing chains with the engine in place. We cannot do the balance shafts with the engine in place, probably just because there's no space to get in there with tools and whatnot. I mean, we're looking at, what, 2 inches right here, about 2 inches or so of space between that bit of structure right there by the motor mount and then the front cover. So we can get the cover off, but then once that's off, we don't really have good access. So I think that's actually going to have to be an engine out job to disassemble and check out the timing chains on this thing. I don't know if that's kind of worth it on a 20-year-old panel wagon. Anyway, let's go ahead and diagnose that Evap system code real quick. Should be pretty easy because somebody's already eliminated the purge valve as being an issue. That's a fairly new purge valve. I'm going to check it anyway. I'll show you guys a cool little trick that I use to check for purge valves. Normally, these are always going to be on and clicking when the engine's running. You'll hear it tick, 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 and that's it pulling using a manifold vacuum. The valve opens, tick, 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 and it pulls vapors from the fuel tank via this line right here. One of my favorite ways to check these is to disconnect the electrical connector. That way the solenoid can't open and close and ticky tick away. And then with the thing in a known closed position, we can check for vacuum at this port right here. Because if this is closed and you have vacuum here, then this thing has an internal leak. It's super common, even on new production aftermarket units. So we wiggle this guy off of here, unplug this guy from down here, go start the engine, and we'll feel for some vacuum at that little port right there. That's gonna set a trouble code right away because I've disconnected it. We've got no vacuum. That's good. Let's plug it back in. It's not purging. It's not doing anything. So we're gonna make it do something. We're gonna go down here to the purge solenoid and the scan tool. We're gonna command that purge solenoid to go full chooch, 100%. In doing so, we should get our vacuum. You hear it? Okay, so now, come back over here, go down to 0%, 0, and you no longer hear the helio. So that's good. That means our purge valve is functioning as designed. So what we do now, we're gonna plug that guy back in. It's just gonna be partial because I'm gonna unplug it again to put some smoke in there. We're gonna open up this purge valve and then we're gonna watch fuel tank pressure. Don't die on me now. Fuel tank pressure is changing. Let's go ahead and back that back down. It tells me the vent is closed. Let's try to open and close the vent now. So we're gonna go to vent control. There's a vent in the back and a purge in the front, okay? Because you can't purge unless you can displace what you purged, and if you displace it, you've got to have something else take its place, right? So let's go Evap vent solenoid, closed and open. We want to command the vent. So right now we're venting. Let's go ahead and close it, not venting, and we should see a change in fuel tank pressure. Pressure is increasing. See right there, ticking up. Let's open the vent. Pressure just fell. So the vent's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Let's close it again. Pressure is changing. That doesn't mean the vent's not leaking, but electronically it is functioning. Okay. So now, let's go back and check our fuel cap real quick, like. Make sure we don't have just a, that's aftermarket. Make sure it's tight. Go back and see our data real quick. Maybe pressures have changed. Fuel tank pressure, we're in the negative still. Let's open the vent. It was open. Let's close the vent. Okay, it's still doing what it's supposed to do. Let's go ahead and throw a smoke machine into it. So we need to keep the engine on. Let's turn off the climate control here so we don't drain down a battery. There's the fan. There's the fan. Okay. Hup. And I'll see if I can't kill the lights too. Nope. Those are gonna have to stay on. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this smoke machine, we're gonna connect it to that evap line and that battery and that shop air over yonder. We're gonna fill the fuel tank and all of the evaporative system lines with some smoke. It's kind of just baby oil in there. We'll fill it full of smoke and then we'll go down below and observe to see if the smoke is leaking out anywhere. We can also command the vent valve open and closed to witness the vent to see if it's actually sealing off like it should be. Because if it's closing and the ECM is receiving reports that it is closed by way of voltage, but it's still leaking, we will have an evap leak fault and or a code that indicates a fault. It won't pass the self-test. All right, smoke machine's powered on. It's a smoking, see that? Yeah, we're smoking today. So we're gonna take this and this gets plugged in to the evaporative system line running back to the tank. All right, so now we're gonna lift this truck up, get underneath of it with the scan tool so we can command the vent valve in the back so we can look at the vent valve to see if the vent valve is in fact leaking or not leaking. Let's go give our gas cap a quick check. I don't see anything leaking there. We'll come back to it if we need to. Third chance. Green subscribe button. Moving on up. Hi. What you doing? You be lurking. What's your question? Come on over. No, none of it's a priority right now except for me figuring out what that parasitic draw is. I'm not going to sell him anything else that I found wrong with the car until we have successfully diagnosed what he brought it in here for.
Got it.
Yep. So that's all stuff we found, but I'm not doing that until I can figure out what's going on with where his power is going. Yep. So I don't know. What I need to do is fix that clicking actuator because it might be clicking overnight.
Yes.
He parks the car for like a week at a time. After a week, battery's dead. It had a new battery. Okay. So because it has that actuator that's randomly just tick, 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 ticking, that thing doing that for a week will absolutely draw down the battery. So I need to put the actuator in there to make the actuator quit ticking. Once the actuator quits ticking, I can finish the parasitic draw test to determine if there's something else drawing the battery down.
What about the starter?
The starter's not drawing the battery down. That's just something else that I found that's wrong with it.
Okay.
But it's not drawing down the battery. The actuator. Actuator first, parasitic draw test next. Then after I fix whatever's wrong with the parasitic draw test, which could be the security module, because he has security problems.
Yeah.
It might be the security module, but I can't determine that because the actuator won't shut up.
Okay.
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 You see how it's a process.
I got it.
We're having a process here. Yep. Having a process. Hey, I made some shorts about that while I was trying to diagnose it. It's on that Chevy Traverse out there. I'll leave a link to those shorts down inside of this video's description. And you guys can go watch them. Then we can have context on what the heck we were just talking about. So any hoos or wazers, hope we're still making smoke. Actually, I need to go up there and check. I don't know if we're still making smoke or not. That thing times out after a while. Okay, back down here. Let's first locate our vent valve. There's our vent valve. And so, where is our vent filter? That's up there. So we should see the smoke up there at the end of this vent valve intake. So with the scan tool pulled up down under the car again, we're down here. The fuel tank pressure, we're at 5.47 inches of water, right? The valve is closed, so let's open her. We're gonna see that pressure dump. Hello? Are we not losing pressure here? Let me take this vent off so we can see. Okay. Oh, there's a wee bit of smoke right there. I see a slight amount. See it? So that should be kind of just pouring out of it. Let's close it again. We're closed. Yeah, fuel tank pressure is still sitting up there. Maybe we just have a bad vent valve. The valve closed. It's not doing anything. Let's open it again. Really no change. So let's do this. Let's stick a voltmeter on this or a test light and make sure that we're actually getting the command back to the valve. Okay, with that connector remove, I stuck a 194 or a 168 part numbered turn signal or license plate light bulb in there. I'm gonna go over here to my scanner and we're gonna actuate this the solenoid. All right, lights on. Lights off, there we go. Okay, so my scan tool and the ECM are able to put some current down this line to actuate this valve right here. Now we need to see if that valve is physically opening or closing. That's hard to do, that's over there. I need my helper. Hey Tony! Can I borrow you real quick?
Sure.
I need your assistance, sir. Come on over here. All I need you to do is command that vent valve closed.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to hear this thing clicking. Go ahead. Yep.
Not venting.
Get it again.
Open.
Get it again.
Closed.
All right. Yeah, we're all done. We got a faulty vent valve back here.
Open.
Yep, faulty vent valve. Excellent.
No clickages?
No clickages. I got power running to it, ground running to it, but this little guy won't do anything.
It smells delicious.
Doesn't it? Let's pull this guy off. It smells like gasoline.
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 It's the same one that I just did.
On that
On that
venture.
Yeah.
Sure is.
But it was up there.
Well,
Is it stuck open?
it's stuck somewhere. I don't think it's stuck open. I've got smoke pumping into this, but I wasn't really getting anything out of it.
Yours is stuck open. Mine was stuck open.
I need to check it. Well, no, because fuel tank pressure was not holding into a vacuum, or it was. So I think it's stuck open, but I'm not getting any. Yeah, there's fuel tank pressure. We're not getting any smoke. So now I need to go back up top, make sure the smoke machine's still on, then come down here and make sure that there's no clog in the canister.
No, mine was a little bit different than this
That-
one. It had like a little opening at the bottom.
Yeah.
But mine was stuck open because I commanded it closed and still had the smoke running through it, and smoke was just pouring out.
Yep. Yeah. So I'm gonna climb back up top and check the the smoke machine. I'm certain it has timed out by now.
I like these snow tires.
I love snow tires in Florida.
I know, right?
All those the New Jersey people, they keep coming down here with snow tires. I don't get it. All right. Big old ladder.
Maybe somebody can answer this for me.
What's that?
Why do people have snow tires and then summer tires? Like winter tires and summer tires? Like, why not run all seasons?
Snow tires run better in snow than in all season because they triple the amount of sipes that's in the tire. You know what a sipe is? Those little cut lines in there? What those are supposed to do, since snow tends to cling to itself, is the sipes in the tire is supposed to fill full of snow. It gets packed in there. And then it uses the other snow that's on the ground to cling to the snow that's stuck in the sipes of the tires. That's kind of, I guess, theory behind it. So you'll have a better, grippier tire if you run an actual snow tire, but you can't run it during the off season because it's a way softer rubber than an all season tire, and you just wear them out super fast.
Kind of like running a rain tire on the racetrack in the dry?
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. You do not run a wet tire on the track on a dry track. The rubber compounds are different, the design is different, the sipe design is way different. It's all about them sipes, baby.
Well, you've seen my race slicks where they get caught in the rain and then into the dry. tear some tires up.
Okay. Whoa, it's tall up here. I'm elevated.
But yeah, I've always asked people that. Nobody can actually give me a straight answer.
That's why. Yep. Give this a second or two. Give me that. Blinded by the light.
Revved up like a deuce, another runner in the night.
A deuce. Yeah, we do have some smoke coming out here. See that? Mm-hmm. So we've got decent flow. That's acceptable.
Yep.
Totally acceptable. So now, go command this vent closed again. Let's see what it does. Because now we're open and chooching, right?
All right, so it's open now.
Close it.
It's closed.
What? It closed. Look at that. But it wasn't clicking earlier. Open it again.
Open.
Yeah, I just heard it click.
Yeah, click.
Close it again.
Closed.
Yep. One more time.
Open.
You hear the click?
I heard it click.
Yep,
Oh, I
yep.
see it coming up.
Well, it only did that after I touched it. I guess it's true. It wasn't like that before you touched it. Yeah, see how it works both ways. Works both ways. But no, you need a new one of these. This one's junk. It's just gonna get stuck again. It's physically failing internally at the valve. The solenoid is not actuating the valve. Yep. Problemo discovered. We need a new one of those. Very nice. Yeah, looky here on this tire real quick. See a little mountain with the snowflake symbol? That means this is a snow rated tire. And then we come around over here. Now somebody just put these on. Look at that. It's still got the little titties on there.
It's got the little nip nips.
Someone just put these on. Where's this car from? It's got Florida tags.
38 to 25.
Who put a snow tire on this car in Florida? Who did this?
They must have been on sale.
On sale, nothing. It's the wrong tire for the application.
Wear those things out.
I mean, we're good in wet weather because we've got these big channels here to direct the water out, but I can feel how soft this rubber is. I can feel it, man. Yeah, these are brand new tires. They still got the little nips on there. But these right here, these little ones, Tony, those are the sipes we were talking about. Those little extras in there. Those don't need to be there. That's not going to do anything for water channeling, that one. And I'm surprised there's none over here on the sides as well, but these little guys, those are your snow adhering sipes right there.
The snow to give you grip.
And they've got it centralized to the tire too. So these would probably run really well in slush. That melty, nasty, brown, gross Detroit slush kind of deal you get. These probably perform really well as long as they're not like getting smashed in the potholes. It's a real thing.
I bet these things are noisy on a dry road.
Oh yeah, all square and blocky. Yeah, they make noise. That thing's still chooching. It's chooching like a freight train. Okay, so the check engine light problem is mostly solved here. We've got a very simple evaporative system repaired. Just needs a vent valve. Fairly inexpensive component. But the vibration issue, that's a different story. It's a borderline engine out job. I'm gonna present that to the customer kind of two ways, I think. One way is a drop the cradle and subframe assembly, and then, am I smashing my ladder? No, a little bit, yeah, oops, that was bad. Yeah, one way it's gonna be drop the cradle and subframe out of it, which we might do anyway, just to make it easier. But basically we unbolt the entire drivetrain from the bottom, pick the car up off of it while it sits down on jack stands, then we've got just an engine sitting there, and then we're free to work on it. So it may behoove us to invest in this powertrain a little bit and go in, pull the engine, change the mounts while we're there, even though I don't think they're bad, but it would give us a better point of view to inspect them with. But I can definitively say that the motor mounts are not the cause of the vibration. I would hate to throw a set of motor mounts in this for like 6 hours of labor time, and then it still does the same thing because it's acting like it's out of balance. I think that's the issue. So I'm gonna present it two ways. One way is pull it out and do the bare minimum of the balance shafts just to make the vibration stop. And then the second way is pull the engine out, put it on a stand, tear it down, reseal it, rehab it, clean everything out, clean the valves out, re-gasket everybody, and then put it all back in and kind of just do a refresh on it. So there's going to be the bare minimum way, and then there's going to be like the most cost-effective way of doing it, because the bare minimum is also often not the most cost-effective ways. I'm also going to recommend some hood struts here. Alrighty guys, we got her parked outside for right now. This one's kind of in limbo. I let them know about the easy stuff, and I let them know about the not so easy stuff that gets a little expensive. Right now, I'm kind of just repeatedly re-driving this car because they still had some concerns about the transmission's performance. So I've been driving it the past couple of days just to see if I can't see a problem with the shifting or the torque converter. I don't think it's there, but I'm gonna drive it one more time before my customer makes his final decision of what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna go from there. So that being said, I've got nothing to offer you as of right now on this particular HHR. Let me know what you think about this PT Cruiser panel wagon in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this video while you're down there, and don't forget to engage that like button, maybe considering subscribing to the channel, and hopefully I'll see you guys on the next one, in a day, in a video, in a transmission.